Rick McGrath, if you'll please come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening. Just state your name for the record, and you live in Monroeville. You already signed in on that.
My name is Rick McGrath, and I live on Wilshire Circle in Monroeville. I've been a Monroeville resident for over 40 years. I've lived on Wilshire Circle for 30 years in a few days. I was at your April meetings, 2 meetings in April, and I'd like to tie up a couple loose ends that are hanging out there that got me concerned. I'd like to start with McClure Road. I understand that we got the money from the Water Authority to repave McClure Road, and I imagine, it seems to me like you've probably had the money for 4 or 5 months, and I understand that there were contracts awarded to a contractor to do the repaving, and I was wondering, the contract that we had them sign, was there a start date or a finish date,
Mr. Hugus.
or just open-ended?
There is a start date, but we have to wait for Public Works to do some additional preparation to the road before they can start.
You have an idea, Paul, for kind
No,
of?
I do not.
Okay.
I mean, we're sort of at the liberty of Public Works. They have to get their work done first.
When I asked about it a couple months ago, Paul informed us that we had to wait till school was out for one, because they don't close the road while the buses are still running.
The way things are going here, school may be back in, is what I'm concerned about.
I'm just,
It'll be done
Yeah.
before school's open.
Okay. Well, that being said, you've been neglecting the McClure Road the way it is right now. There are serious potholes, at least a dozen of them, that have been there for months right now. And I'm under the impression that maybe you guys are not taking care of it because it's going to be repaved, but right now it's definitely a hazard. It's a safety hazard. Cars swerving in and around to miss the potholes. Somebody needs to go out there and look at it and fix the potholes. Can we have somebody look at that?
I'll have somebody look at it tomorrow, Rich.
That'd be great. The contracts are awarded, and I tried to get some specifics. I went on the council, the borough website, the municipality website, to look at the minutes for April. And of course, this is June, and there are no minutes posted yet for the April meeting. Is that standard, that it should take 2 or 3 months, or?
Shouldn't be.
The April minutes are not on the website, you're saying, Rich?
No, sir.
Okay, the April minutes were approved last month. If they're approved, they should be on the website.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I could speak to that. Sometimes they just lag behind a little bit. I should have them on immediately
Yeah.
after
Tim will get
after they're
that. He'll
approved.
address that.
Okay.
No, that's just a matter of putting them, that has nothing to do with you, Sharon, it has to do with just putting them on the website, that's all. Give them to Andy, and Andy puts them on, that's all.
Okay.
And it's just.
After
no big deal.
approval.
Yeah, after approval, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, that being said, I have to go by memory. There were 2 parts to the bid that went out. One was for like $130,000, and another one where they churn it up and pulverize it, and we put it down,
That's from McClure Road, right.
was $13,000,
I believe that was the, I believe.
plus or minus. I'm wondering, what does that entail? When I see that, I think the proper term was full-depth reclamation. And I got the impression that they basically dig up the road surface, pulverize
They
it,
mill it up,
put it back down, and then pave over it. So
pretty much that's it.
McClure Road, I didn't measure it, but it's got to be a quarter of a mile long. It might be a half a mile long.
Oh, it's longer than a quarter mile.
How can they do that for $13,000? And I think this is a company out of Detroit, from what I remember.
Their home office is in Detroit. They have a local office here. They specialize in full-depth reclamation. That's their business. It's $13,000 to do the full-depth reclamation.
Would that
Then the
be
paving-
from,
Then the paving company will come in and do the paving of it.
are they going to do this from Mountain View Drive over to Frankstown Road?
No, it'll go from just after Wilshire Circle to
Wait a
McClure
minute,
Road.
Wilshire Circle doesn't intersect with
Or, I'm sorry, Verlinden.
Verlinden, okay. From Verlinden to,
A little further up from Verlinden. Basically, where Mr. and Mrs. Lippincott used to live.
I don't know them, but.
Okay.
They're going to do it all the way out to Mountain View, where it intersects with Mountain View?
Yes.
For $13,000, wow.
That's their business, I mean,
I can't imagine that having the equipment there that long. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. I mentioned the potholes, okay. So now, the second part of my request is to talk about Wilshire Circle. If you'll recall, we have transverse cracks in our streets, and at the last meeting I was here in April, the second meeting in April, Mr. Duncan indicated that it would be started that week. And the next day, I got a call from Mr. Adams, Mike Adams, and he met with me in front of my house. And you had asked him to give me a call, and he did call me first thing in the morning. And he said, Rick, he says, you know what, this isn't going to happen this week. He says, my guys have other jobs, they're on other jobs, and they're not just sitting around waiting for something to do. I said, I don't have a problem with that. He says, maybe next week. I said, that would be great, you know, but we got to get it done. Well, a month went by, and didn't hear from anybody, didn't see anybody. 3 weeks ago, all of a sudden, the machines showed up, and they start carving out these cracks, and there was on one side of Wilshire, there was a storm pipe that was put in or something and repaved years ago, and it was in very bad repair. And so they dug that out, and they started filling it back in. Well, of what they carved out, they asphalted about 90% of it, and there's 10% of it that's sitting there with a hole in the pavement. And they just walked off the job. They didn't explain anything to anybody. Where are they? Are they done? Are they?
They've had mechanical problems with the, I don't want to say the skid loader, that's not the skid loader, they're having
Backhoe?
mechanical problems.
Backhoe or?
Milling machine.
Not the milling machine.
Regardless,
backhoe.
they had mechanical.
They've had, both of the machines are broken down, Rich, that's why.
Both
Mike
machines.
told me. Yeah.
Communications, it really takes a lot of stress off people in the neighborhood, particularly me, because they've seen me on television, and you know, for some reason, they think I'm the spokesperson, and I hope that's not true.
you're doing a good job.
Oh, you're doing, yeah, I don't have to say, Rich, you are.
Evidently not, but because
You're
McClure's in the same condition, and Wilshire is, anyhow.
But I agree with you, and then Tim, you know, maybe what we should do is that when we're doing that, and that does, that I think that certainly would warrant a call. And I know it can fall through the cracks, but.
No, Rich, I mean, I know, well, first of all, you were here last month, okay? So Mike went out and talked with you, because other guys were on the job, and then what happened a week after that, in the beginning of May, what everybody knows, we've had a lot of rain, okay? And I'm pretty sure Mike mentioned that to you, too. I mean, they couldn't do anything out there because, you know, we've had a lot of rain. So once the rain subsided, they started and they went out there, and I think they started, Mike told me, 2.5 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, is about when they started. And I didn't know the machines had broken down, and I wish I could remember what, it was a backhoe. I didn't know that until about 2 days ago, Mike told me. Okay, so we kind of expected you, we were looking forward to you being here tonight,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
Because of that.
All right, and I know there's a Penguin game, so I have one more item. If you'll recall, the last meeting I was at, or the first meeting that I was at, I brought up some good points, and then I was on my way to Monroeville along Frankstown Road, and they were paving, AKA Penn Hall Academy. And I brought that up, and somebody says, well, we own that. And I said, no, we don't own it, because I had a copy of the county website. And they said, well, we lease it. And Mr. Duncan and you, Mr. Little, said that we'll look into that and we'll get back to you. Do we own it? Do we lease it?
We lease it, from my understanding. I haven't seen the lease.
Well, that's what I'm interested in. We're maintaining somebody else's private property, and that could get out of hand. It could be, well, it is. It's, I'm bringing it up. That's
Fair
what
statement
brought
to
it.
say you'll get back to him
Sure.
Yeah,
in a day or two.
or 3. Okay.
Well, yeah,
He's your
tomorrow's
man.
Friday, but Monday.
Okay, I just wanted to remind you that that was still an open item in my book, so,
You did a good job.
yeah, thank you very much, and let's get out of here. Okay.
Hey, good job, Rick.
Jim Starr.